NCRP Productions presents Fallout Beyond the Rad'wood Vale. Wood Island. Character and setting intro.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Ty. I'm the GM for the Fallout RPG. This will be a new campaign taking place in the Lost Coast. If you haven't heard it, we did a original campaign, 2 towns, set in the same area. This one will be taking place about a month after that, and we'll go into more detail now. This campaign will be called Wood Island. Our group will be a crew on a ship based off of this settlement. Wood Island itself is a collection of wood, pole buildings, sunken boats, and floating homes, all tied together into a floating settlement in the middle of the Great Bay. The Great Bay is the focal point of the Lost Coast. The Lost Coast, for those of you who have seen the 2 Towns campaign, will be familiar, is a isolated part of California that has never seen direct bombing during the Great War and is preserved from the fire that scorched the earth. But in its place, a sickening fog of corruption and radiation has befallen the area and has made it very difficult for people from the outside world to come. Hence the name, the Lost Coast. This campaign will take place in the year 2281, about 1 month after the events of 2 Towns. Wood Island itself, as I said earlier, is a wooden collaboration of structures and metal all tied together, and it's been added to over the years as new captains make their name, and as they retire, it's tradition that once you retire your boat, and it adds to the town, and it grows larger over time. The captains brings up a good question of how this settlement is run. The Wood Island clan is made up of basically a meritocracy, where only the most powerful, influential, and wealthy captains lead it. This creates a very ambitious society, where everyone's always going out to make a buck, make a trade, find some salvage, or get the biggest creature, which will of course net them the most prestige. These men who go out and hunt these beasts for profit or for glory are called lurkers. Each of these is a grizzled veteran of monster hunting. For those who are not up to snuff, don't survive very long. Wood Island itself is about 700 people living here. Very large, but once again, just like 2 Towns, very claustrophobic. Because so many people are living in this area, real estate is at a premium. And the captains who own their sections of town have a lot of sway. The settlement itself makes a lot of money from its lurkers who bring in these large beasts and sell its meat and shells and other parts of it to the nearby settlements. A lot of these villages are located around the Great Bay, but the Wood Island is located in it. Some of these settlements that they sell to are Market City, the famous metropolis of the Lost Coast, the Kingfish, the Jetty, Southport, and of course the Rock, though no vessel that has sailed to the Rock has returned within the past month. Some of the creatures that inhabit the Great Bay and the mouth just out beyond are fog crawlers, mire lurks, where the lurkers get their name from, gulpers, mud skippers, gnashers, great eels, and of course the precious mound oysters. Picture the lurkers as a mixture of whaler, crabber, and fisherman, all tied into one sailing profession. Our group for this campaign will be the crew of one of these lurker vessels, named the Fog Cutter, and they will be journeying out of Wood Island. And now we'll introduce them, starting with the captain.
Hi, I'm Glen. I'll be playing Captain Flint. He is a survivor mercenary. He is now an ex-mercenary. He's been here for about 10 years. 10 years ago, he was on a job that brought him to Wood Island when he met Rachel, his soulmate. He decided to settle down, but he couldn't fight the urge to go hunting. So he bought himself a ship, dubbed it the Fog Cutter, and recruited himself a crew, and he's been hunting ever since. Captain Flint is of a lean build, muscular, but not large. You can normally see him wearing his utility coveralls. They are not the normal yellow that you would find a fisherman wearing, but he has covered them in a black dye so as to blend in, so His quarry cannot locate him easily. He has greased back black hair, mutton chops to protect his face from the wind. Across Flint's right cheek, there is a scar roughly from his ear to his lip, and he normally carries his 44 Magnum pistol.
Hi, this is Barry. I'm going to be running Cookie Conklin. I am a survivor mercenary for Origin. Cookie actually hails originally from Wood Island, but early in his career he wanted to make his own way. He ran off with a mercenary company that had strolled into town to get supplies, and he's been gone for a good 20 years of his life. But he's come back to Wood Island with the intent to settle down and help what family he has left and possibly make his way here on Wood Island. He has been working on the fog cutter for the last 5 years now. He trusts Captain Flint to go to the best places to earn us the most money and feels comfortable with somebody else in command. Not something he's real excited about doing himself. Cookie's about 5'8". He's on the thinner side, 40 years of age, scraggly hair that he keeps no longer than the length of his shoulders. He wears a scraggly beard, very, very bright blue eyes, generally seen in his standard clothing with the coat over the top. Cookie gets a little cold and tries to keep warm when we're out on the wind-covered bay. You will see openly and outwardly on his chest he carries 4 throwing knives that he is very adept with, and his rifle strapped across his back. Never know what's going to happen.
Hi, I'm David. I will be playing Carson Landry. He's a settler survivor. Carson's lived here his entire life, grew up on Wood Island. His family has been lurkers all of his life. It's why he's just grown up a little bit tougher, a little bit more leaning around. Joined after he got kind of a reputation for always diving headfirst into problems, just really eager to try to get out there and make a name for himself. He is 6 feet tall. That bright sandy blonde hair that he's let grow out a little bit. Think of that nice surfer kind of style. Tans and leathery skin from being out. Gray pupils, gray eyes. So Carson is muscular but with an athletic build. He's normally seen wearing an old brownish pea coat, overlain with merman leathered gauntlets and bracers. Gotta keep those moneymakers safe, as he always says.
Hi, this is Josh. I'm playing a tribal ritualist who's called Buoy. They call him that, Buoy, because as a young boy he was found bobbing, clinging to a buoy for dear life, far off the coast of Wood Island near the mouth of the Great Bay. Fishermen found him there one day and brought him in. As a result, and ever since, he's lived his entire known life on Wood Island. He doesn't remember much that happened before that. But he's been spending his days more or less repaying the fishermen for their kindness that day. Deep down inside, though, he truly knows the reason he survived whatever happened out there was because of Mother Wasteland, where the fishermen have been his father figures for nearly 20 years. The Wasteland has been his protector and provider. For his choice of attire, he tends to prefer a more primal look than most of those around town, choosing articles made of wood or leather, some things that he's made himself, or animal pelts that he's hunted along the island. He's been working on the fog cutter now with Captain Flint for 8 years. He's learned a lot from him in that time. He's the one who taught him how to shoot a rifle. He's been doing a lot of odd and end jobs that nobody else really wanted to do, and learned a lot from that. And then in what time he spends on land, he spends with the town doctor learning what he can here and there about medicine and how to treat the various injuries a fishing crew might come across in the course of their day. He's in his 20s. He's very thin, dark-skinned, black-haired, and occasionally he'll wear out to sea what he considers tribal war paint. It's what maybe we would call Coast Guard orange colored, that he found in a bucket that washed up on shore one day. He carries a hunting rifle and a bow and arrow. His hunting rifle is a little more ritually adorned. He's inlaid the hilt, the stock of it, with whalebone that he scavenged, and he's taken to scrimshawing his recent clan's history onto the stock of the rifle as things occur. So he's sort of chronicling what he has seen in his short life.
And that is the crew of the Fog Cutter.
Thank you for joining us on another NCRP Productions podcast. We couldn't do this without you, so please like and subscribe everywhere we're found, including YouTube, Facebook, Anchor, Google, Apple, Spotify, and other great podcast sites. If you'd like to help us continue making more content, we'd love to have your support on our Patreon. And we'd like to give a special shout out to our current patrons, our Seegson Employees of the Month, Michael H., Greg K., F.S., and our Breaker of Seals, Frank H., Christopher C., Matthew K. Thank you all. We truly, truly appreciate it. And a very special thanks to our fantastic artist, Jacob Blackmon, who you can reach on his Patreon under his name, or Deviant Art under the name Prodigy Duck.